kwa PowerPoint. Okay, thank you so much. This is another session that we are supposed to work on. We are dealing with network analysis. Now, in network analysis, we are actually supposed to work on the following areas. So, network analysis, the areas to be covered: introduction, terminologies, uses, application, phases of network analysis, types, network diagram, rules for constructing network diagram, and finally preparation and presentation of network techniques. Introduction. In our introduction, we are actually discussing what is network analysis. So network is a composition of two terms. One, network, meaning combination of activities and events of a project. Analysis refers to the critical examination of projects in order to establish the best cost and time project takes to be completed. So when you talk about analysis, we are actually analyzing the best cost and time that requires for a project to be completed. Project is composed of a number of jobs, activities, or tasks that are related to each other, which must be accomplished in a given period of time. So meaning that when you talk about network analysis, another term comes into play, which is project. Now, project is a composition of number of jobs, activities, or tasks. Now, these activities or tasks which must be completed forms network analysis. So, what is network analysis? It provides a technique of planning, scheduling, controlling, monitoring, and coordinating large and complex projects which consist of many activities. The problem of network is to find the best course of action, which minimizes either time, cost, or distance in the performance of various activities. Objective. Now, what are the objectives of network analysis? Minimization of total cost of project. So you minimize the cost of running a project. 2, minimization of total time of project. When you are doing network analysis, you're trying to minimize the time taken to complete a project. Minimization of cost of project for a given time. So you are given time, so you need to minimize your cost. Minimization of time of a project for a given cost. You are given particular amount of money to do particular project. So what is required of you is to minimize your time. Then minimization of idle resources. Finally, minimization of product delays, interruption, and conflict. So in time of carrying out your project, in time of carrying out your analysis, you realize that you need to minimize delays, interruption, and conflicts, which arises in the event of carrying out your project. Terminologies. Now, these are actually languages which are applicable in network analysis. For you to be conversant with network analysis, these are languages that you must have. Number 1, activity. A task associated with the project. It is the actual performance of the task. So when you talk about activity, it is the task which must be accomplished in a project. Start activities. Activity which have no predecessor. So when you talk about start activity, it is an activity which has no predecessor. Terminal activities. Activities which have no successors. So at the end of the project, we have activities. So activities which have no successors are called terminal activities. DUMI activity. The activity which does not take time and resources. They are used to maintain proper precedence relation between two events. So when you talk about due me activity, it's an activity which has no resource or time implication, but it helps in connecting one event to another. So in such an activity, it is a zero activity, zero time activity, zero cost activity. Event. It is a point in time and does not consume any resource. So when you talk about event, it's normally presented in terms of nodes. So event is a point in time and does not consume any resource. So there are two things about event. We have a tail event and we have head event. A tail event, it states the beginning of an activity. So a tail event is a starting point of an activity. Head event determines the ending of an activity. Now remember, activity is normally reflected, or the symbol for activity is an arrow. So the tail represents the starting point of an activity. Head event represents the ending point of an activity, where the arrow is. Successor event, the events that follows an event. Predecessor event, the event that occurs before an event. Successor activities, the activities that follows an activity. Predecessor activities, the activities that occur before an activity. So you need to be very careful when you're dealing with successor event and predecessor event, successor activities and predecessor activities. Terminologies. Earliest event time, the earliest occurring time in an event. Latest event time, the latest allowable occurrence time. Now the symbol for earliest event time is ETE, small e. The latest event time is capital T and small l. Earliest start time, the earliest time the activity can commence. So the earliest time that an activity starts is what we call earliest start time. Earliest finish time, the earliest time by which an activity can be finished. So the earliest time that you can finish your project. Latest finish time, the latest time by which an activity can be finished without delaying the completion.